The Great Scarf Adventure. So last winter, my grandma, who has always had a penchant for knitting, decided to spearhead a project with her knitting club. The plan was to knit a giant scarf to donate to the local charity. It sounded like a cozy and heartwarming idea, especially considering how grandma and her friends are like the Avengers of knitting, armed with needles instead of shields. They gathered every Wednesday, their living room buzzing with the clicking of knitting needles and the gentle hum of gossip. Everything seemed normal enough, until one day I noticed a peculiar sight on my way home from work. The scarf had grown. And I don't just mean it was getting longer. I mean, it had taken on a life of its own. It started innocently enough, with the scarf draping over the living room couch, then wrapping around the dining table, before spilling out the front door. It was like a woolen river, cascading down the porch steps and flowing down the driveway. My grandma, with a gleam of pride in her eyes, assured me it was all according to plan. But when the scarf began encircling the entire block, wrapping around street lamps and mailboxes, I began to wonder if they were planning to donate it to charity or to the entire neighborhood. The spectacle drew attention. Neighbors came out of their homes, some bewildered, others amused, as the scarf continued its serpentine journey around the block. The knitting club, undeterred, kept adding to the length, their fingers flying with speed and precision. It became a local event, with people bringing lawn chairs to watch the progress, sipping hot cocoa as if attending the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. The local news even showed up, dubbing it the Great Scarf Caper, which only seemed to encourage the knitters more. They were thrilled to have their 15 minutes of fame, and Grandma was already brainstorming their next project, a sweater for the town hall. Finally, the day came when the last stitch was sewn, and the scarf was complete. It now wrapped around the entire block, not once, but twice. As the townspeople gathered to admire this woolly wonder, the knitting club stood proudly beside their creation. A neighbor jokingly asked my grandma if she'd ever consider making anything less ambitious. With a twinkle in her eye and a chuckle, she replied, "Well, I guess you could say we're just stringing you along."